In this video we're going to talk a little bit about spot retouching, and so I'm going to go get an image here, open, and I have this image. I'll select, and it's just an older person's picture. Trouble is with retouching, you have to be careful of is that the photographer owns the photograph 75 years after his death. So a lot of places won't print a picture even if it's 20 or 30 years old and you've retouched it. They won't print it, so just kind of keep that in mind. What I'm going to do here, first of all, show you a couple new tools. I'm going to make a new layer, and this is really important because I don't want to mess up my original. So I think it's just easier to work on a separate layer. And I'm going to come to this spot healing brush, and the spot healing brush has its own set of menus here. First of all, I'm going to make this a soft brush. I'm going to reduce the hardness, and I'm going to leave the size and the spacing right here, because I can click off of it and I can remember to use the bracket keys right beside the letter P, the curly braces or the regular straight braces, right beside the letter P. You can make it larger or smaller. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make sample all layers. So what we're going to do is, this is kind of like a stamp, and we'll talk about the clone stamp later. But what it's doing is it's looking at all the pixels that are inside the circle, kind of getting an average, but also kind of calculating some texture and some modulation in color, and then it's going to see what falls outside that kind of average. So if I look right here, you can see that I have some severe contrast between the basic background and the blemish. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at that, and it's just going to apply an average background to it. So it's really good at maintaining the texture and not just making a big fuzzy mess. But what it does need to do is I need to sample all layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select pixels and analyze pixels from the background layer, but I'm going to place them on the first layer. So that's really important about keeping your image nice and clean, and if you mess up you can always come back to it. And the nice thing is too, immediate gratification, I can turn on and off my retouch layer and really see where I've come. So I'm going to not get too big on this brush, and I'm just going to brush over top of the blemish. So I have sample layers all on. I'm on layer 1, and I just click and drag. Now I like to keep a small cursor so that I don't get things kind of muddy, because I mean it's averaging things, averaging the pixels here, and sometimes I can get just kind of a blurry, muddy mess. So all I do is just click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Now you could spend a lot of time on this, and the image that you'll have for your assignment is a lot simpler than this. This would take you a considerable amount of time to clean all this up, but it's way easier than what the old method was of getting dyes out and actually painting on the print itself. So that works out pretty well, and then I can do my immediate gratification button here, turn it on and turn it off, and I can see what I've done. Now it doesn't work real well when it comes to high contrast areas, when it doesn't really know what to do. If I'm right here on the edge, it looks at the dark brown, looks at the light brown, and sometimes it gets confused. I want to show you one other tool here. It's the patch tool, and it's used kind of more for bigger areas. The trouble with this one is that you can't use sample all layers, so you kind of have to do this on the background. So what I do a lot of times is I'll just make a copy of that background layer, so I'm not messing it up. I could drag it into this new layer, or I can right click on it and go to duplicate copy or duplicate layer. So in this case, all I have to do is just kind of draw a circle around what I want to change, and then I want to drag it into a clean area. So it's kind of important that we clean up an area first, maybe with a spot healing brush, so that we can drag this over into a clean area, because you can kind of see what kind of happens. It kind of copies, but it also is still making some averages and things. So I'm going to pull it over into a clean area and then release, and it kind of does a pretty good job of kind of approximating that texture. Now I hit Control D to deselect, and so again, like if I have a combination of these tools, not one tool is best for everything, but use them in combination, you can get some pretty good results pretty quickly. So in your assignment, you'll be doing that, just general spot retouching, and most of the time probably it's going to be more on the spot healing brush. So that's all that we have for that lesson.